of all the ways to buy a truck and to rent out dumpsters with it, this is probably the worst way. What is going on, guys? Hopefully you're having a great day today. My name is Daniel, and this is my new truck. My new truck to me. This is a Kodiak C6500. It's an 06 with 315,000 miles on it. It's got the switch and go rail system, and I've modified it to be able to actually take standard rail cans, which I now have two. Those two cans, one is actually rented out right now, and the other one is sitting right here. They are two 10-yard standard rail cans. They were modified to have a hook lift, but I'm using it as a standard rail cable. So this is the new truck that I've had for about 10 months. It's been a journey just to get to this point where it's operational, where I'm able to use it, and it's legal, and a whole other slew of things. It's been a journey for that. I'm going to go through and walk through the whole situation of what it took to get here. If you're somebody who has not bought a roll-off truck yet, and to, you know, whether it's hook or cable, please watch to the end of this video. Bad things can happen when you buy a truck, and it certainly did for me. I went through a number of lessons that I hope I can hopefully save you from actually enduring and having to go through. I smashed, besides the legal and other issues that came up, I had to smash two systems together to make this work. I was told it was only going to be a little bit of modification to make this system work. However, if you know what a switch and go system is, you would know the rails actually stop right here and not back there. I had to lengthen my rails as well as lengthen my bumper to be able to not be over length and actually overhanging there. So that was one issue. There were some legal issues as well that I ran into, and hopefully you don't go through this, but this is my new to me truck. I already have some multiple things. I've had to spray paint this. I'm getting more and more of the reflective tape on here. I'm going to be putting multiple lights, getting a new winch cable because it is toast, getting a new tensioner on the winch, a new fair lead on the winch. I've already taken it to the mechanic shop. They've already done about $1,000 worth of work into it to get it operational. Everything's clean, everything's working. I believe it's got the 8.2 Isuzu engine, not the 6.6 Duramax. And so it's got the larger engine. I believe it has the Allison transmission, which is made by somebody else, I believe. It is what it is. This was bought down in Texas last year, like I said. Really not much rust at all, unless it's completely, you know, painted over. Good tires. Maintenance is good to go. All the lights work. I do have one missing little amber cover up there. I've already bought that and got it sitting at the house, but this has been quite the journey. This is the new truck, and I'm super stoked to get it going, to get it working and operational. It has been a journey, like I said. We're going to go ahead and get right into that in just a second, but I have gone through so much and endured so much with this truck already just to get it operational. It has been such a journey. It's been almost a year trying to get this whole thing put together and working and good to go. And I guess I just want to take a moment to kind of reflect on this, because it doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem, I've hit issue after issue after issue with this truck, and it feels as if, you know, I shouldn't even be allowed to have this truck in operation. Like it has felt like I've hit, you know, brick walls at every turn, like I'm not supposed to even have this truck or something. And yet here we are, finally here. I've already started making money with it. The very next day when I got this operational, both dumpsters were rented out. And if that's not encouraging to you, I don't know what is. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get right into the whole discussion of what went on from purchasing all the way to here and now. So we'll go ahead and get right into that. So I've wanted to share this truck with you for so very long, but I felt like I couldn't because I hadn't gotten all of the pieces put together to be able to have it functional, ready to go, and actually out there making money. So I'm going to share with you the process that I kind of went through. I know I just kind of did just a walk around, but I really want to share with you what can happen when buying and building your business and when things maybe don't go as planned. So we're going to walk through exactly what happened from the time that I purchased the truck until now. So I began my search looking for a roll-off truck last year in 2021. I wanted to expand the business. I did not want to go the route of buying more dump trailers. Those seemingly are even more expensive, certainly by thousands of dollars at this point. And I really wanted to expand it and go build for the future if it's possible to. Sometimes it's not. At this point for me, it was. And so I was searching for a roll-off truck to a certain degree to find something that I could build and simply just add on more dumpsters at my own pace as I have the cash to do that. So I searched for many different types of trucks out there. The hook lift cable is what I ended up with. And I finally found this one. There were several deals that just didn't feel right, and I just said no. Not right. Too many miles on the truck. Even for me, even though I've got very high mileage vehicles and I maintain them, this truck just felt right. I didn't fully understand, to be honest, the whole different systems that were at play. This is a switch and go rail system, cable pull from, with the winch, and it was. Their switch and go dumpsters are different than regular standard cable. It's the same width, it's the proper width. However, it is not the right front of the actual dumpster, and so I needed to have the rails extended on this. But at the time of purchasing this, I didn't know. However, I felt comfortable with the price, with what I was getting, and I was told by the seller that the rails just needed to be modified a little bit. So it was December, early December, when I actually flew down to Houston, and the seller picked me up. I had a cashier's check ready to go. And we drove over to his property, saw the truck, had the two 10-yard cans that I have for this truck. They were already loaded up, strapped down, locked in place, and essentially ready to roll. And so he said, yeah, it'll take a little bit of modifying, but you'll be good to go. We did all the paperwork, and I left late evening that day. I was literally in Houston for 15 minutes. So I am in Houston, Texas. I just flew down here from Indiana. I've got some pretty big moves going on right now for my dumpster rental business. So let me know down in the comments below what you think I might be doing. If you were in a few different lives, you might know exactly what I'm doing. But stay tuned for more, and you'll see some updates. We drove to his property, probably 45 minutes northwest of Houston, and then I was gone. I stayed in a hotel somewhere in East Texas, and then drove the next 1,000+ miles over the next couple of days. So that was me bringing the truck home. So the timeline started there. I wrote everything down because this has been a long journey for me. So I'm going off of my phone here. I came home, and I had the money to pay the taxes. I didn't want to just buy the truck and not be able to pay the serious taxes that I had to pay on it, and title, registration, the whole thing. So I had that all money ready to go. Well, as soon as I got home in the middle of December, I had some pretty aggressive costs that came up, which basically ate up all the extra money that I had on top of my regular budget for the business. Ate all that money away. And so I was like, okay, so I can't even register this. I can't even, he said it was roughly $500 to get the thing operational, to do some fab work done to it, but I can't even get this functioning yet. And so I've got to, figure out what I'm going to do. I've got to come up with this $1,500+ taxes and everything to get this thing even legal. So I basically had to push off everything, and it just sat here at my storage facility for several months. I still hadn't, exactly reached out to anybody because my first priority was getting it legal, and then having somebody actually work on it was kind of secondary to that. So I did build up over the next couple months. At the beginning of this year, 2022, I had a couple times where I thought I had enough to be able to make it happen, but then I would sink back down below and not be able to fork out that extra money to make it happen. Other bills came up, things happened with the business, and you just don't know for sure until you're able to pull the trigger. So didn't have the money a couple different times. I finally got the money, I believe in April. It was mid-April, and I was super excited. I bring the title, the insurance. Meanwhile, I've been paying insurance on this sitting here as a paperweight since December, since I drove it home and everything. So, I had the bill of sale, the insurance, the title. I have the cash now. I'm super hyped. I believe it was somewhere in the middle of April. I drove to the BMV and I bring everything, and they say, okay, so you bought it from a guy in California, right? I said, no. He said that he owns multiple businesses, and some of them are in California with his family, I guess. But I bought it from a guy in Texas. And the lady said, okay, so you drove to Texas, but bought it from somebody in California. It sounds like he's title jumping. And I'm like, I'm just, stunned. And she's like, that's a felony, and you can take him to small claims court. You can pursue him in civil court, whatever. But if you try to register this again somewhere else with this documentation, you're committing a felony too. I'm like, dude, I have no intention of breaking the law or doing anything like that. My business is completely above board. You can see anything, look at anything you want, knock yourself out. I sleep easy at night. So I immediately, in the parking lot of the BMV, I texted the guy, I said, listen, dude, they gave me all the paperwork to come after you, to do all this stuff. I don't want to do that. Can you just pay the taxes on this? Put it in your name, because that's what title jumping is. He didn't pay his taxes to put it in his name, so technically somebody in California still owned it, and yet he told me that it was one of his businesses and all this other stuff, and it wasn't him. And so I just said, listen, dude, can we just do this the easy way? Pay your taxes, send it back to me, because essentially the title in my hand is worth nothing, because it's not even in his name to sell to me. So I can't do anything with it. So I just told him, listen, can we please just do this the right way? I'm not trying to go after you in court. I'm not about that. Can we just do the right thing? So he said, sure. So I had nothing else to lose. I already have the truck that I can't put in my own name. I sent him back the title. Meanwhile, I still haven't done a thing to the truck to get it operational, because if I truly can't get it in my name, what's the point of messing with a truck that legally I don't own and can't own? And who knows what would happen down the road. So I ended up sending the actual title to him, and he said, yeah, down here in Texas right now, because of COVID, it's going to be 9-10 weeks for me to get this thing back. So, hang on, it's going to be a while. So I've got, gut wrenching. I'm just dying inside, because I'm like, dude, I bought this truck in December. I was supposed to already have it in operation with 2 more dumpsters, going from 2 dump trailers to 4 with these 2 additional 10-yard cans. And so I'm thinking, what in the world, what is happening? Like, what am I going to do? I literally did everything that I knew was right, and it still blew up in my face. And with the with the money going towards the taxes and everything multiple times, like, I finally have the cash, and I can't even put it in my own name to then go to the next step to get it operational. So immediately thinking, Daniel, you absolute idiot. And I'm making this video, I'm sharing this, being real vulnerable with you, because this is the ugly side of making mistakes, of apparently not doing the due diligence enough to verify every single thing about it. Working with people who don't operate their business above board and they're cutting corners. So anyways, after 8 or 9 weeks or so, I'm sitting in my driveway, and at this point I had kept texting him and calling him, and he really didn't respond to me. And so I'm like, this dude absolutely ghosted me. He said he sent it in the mail multiple times. I'm not going to go through the text messages and all that, but basically he said, oh yeah, it should be in the mail. Oh, it should have already been there. Oh, you've heard the story before. And so he eventually just stops talking to me. And there's I believe it was a FedEx guy. I'm sitting in my truck idling in my driveway close to the front door where the mailbox is. And the guy comes and knocks on my window of my truck. And he holds the tallest, widest envelope I've ever seen possible. And he's like waving it. And I'm like, so I roll down the window, I reach over and I grab it from him. I open it up. There is the title for this truck with the right VIN number, everything. Everything is accurate and perfect. Exactly how it's supposed to be. I go inside. I start jumping. I mean, I just about broke the house. I don't know. I was jumping around. I was super hyped. Like, this dude actually did the right thing. My mind is blown. He ghosted me. I don't even care at this point. Like, thank you for doing the right thing. You're not a complete, whatever you want to say. You're just partially, I don't know. And so I finally got the title. I had the cash at that moment. I immediately went straight over to the BMV. When I got there, I gave them everything I had, and I had forgot one of the other documents. And so it was at the end of the day, and so I'm like, oh my word. So I literally still can't get it operational until even tomorrow. I think that might have been a Saturday. They're not open Sunday and Monday. So I had to wait till I think it was a Tuesday. So Tuesday I went, finally turned everything in. The lady's like, you know how much this is going to be for taxes, right? And I said, oh, I know exactly how much it's going to be, because I've had it multiple times ready to go, and then other things have come up. So I paid, it was well over $1,500 in taxes and everything getting put together. It was under $2,000. But paid all that, got it legal, got the temporary registration, got the new title in the mail sometime after that. And so the next point in this whole operation, so this was, it was April when I first tried to go to the BMV. It was 8 or 9 weeks after that. So sometime in July, late June, July, somewhere in there is when I actually got it legal. So then the next point was, okay, I need to get this operational. Extra $500 is what I was told. So we're going to go ahead and find some fabricator to do the work on this. So I reached out to multiple companies. I guess I don't need my phone right now. I've reached out to multiple companies, and they all, at one time, at different times, they all said yes, and then would ghost me for weeks, and then eventually say no, or say, well, we're about a month out. And I'm like, dude, how do you, and I even told them after the first one, I said, listen, I've had a pretty rough time trying to find somebody who's willing to do it, and then will actually do the work. And agree to it on a certain day. And for whatever reason, doing the fab work on this, what needed to be done was have the rails extended so that they can go down to the ground to actually be able to pick up these standard rail cans. And so that's literally all that, well, some of the other stuff needed to be done as well, but that's the job. It shouldn't take multiple days to do it. Shouldn't be that much money even. So I was quoted $2,000 by one company. Another company said just under $2,000. And then the third person that I talked to, and there's a few other people who said, oh yeah, I would love to help out. Somebody even on social media reached out and said, oh, I'd love to help. And then they ghosted me as well. They actually blocked me. So I literally, at a certain point, I was like, I can't even find somebody to take my money. I have the money, it's legal, I just need the work done. And all of these fabrication shops around me, or people who popped up who are a little further away from me, said yes and then said no. And I had no reason why, no understanding, like I have the money to go. So it went from 500 of a guess from the seller to 2,000-ish, a little under 2,000, and then finally the one company that said yes, I left my truck with them. It sat there for 2 weeks, I guess because of COVID, and then 2 days later they were done. They had extended the rails, they had added the other safety things in the front, the locking mechanism in the front and everything, modified all this stuff to get it operational, safe, legal, ready to go. And $2,500 later, I was driving away with it. While I was at the shop, getting the pin to be able to go through a part of the locking system in the front of the dumpster to go through, I was getting the second dumpster modified, just that front part, and I got a call from actually another dumpster guy here locally, or no, I got a text message, and he had asked, hey, do you have a dumpster available for tomorrow? And I was like, well, actually I do. My other ones are rented out, but I now have 2 10-yard dumpsters. And he was like, great, we could probably use it tomorrow. I've got a customer, I don't want to lose them, but I'd like to send you some business and still retain the customer, and and all that. So I ended up being able to get that next job. It was a 30-minute live load. Boom. Full day's pay rate, no big deal. Fantastic. Had him, my buddy, come with me to be able to do that load, and very gracious for him to send that work to me. He might have had another way to do it, but we drove over there, had a great time, chit-chatted, and got to see this being used for the first time the very next day that it was actually able to be used. So I had that, and then I also had a call while I was going into Lowe's to get some spray paint because they didn't actually spray the back of the rail. I did that personally myself, so I was going in to get spray paint, and as I was in there, a broker called me and said, hey, we need a dumpster over at the Meijer. Tesla is installing some new charging stations. They need another dumpster. Fantastic. I'm your guy. So that's a week-long rental there. And it's actually turned into multiple weeks now. So immediately the next day, as soon as I got this operational, I immediately had them both booked, at least for the first day going into it. So that's kind of the situation where I've been at. As of right now, I'm still trying to get the actual the red and white reflective tape on there. I'm going to be putting some other additional lights in the back. Because of the rails, I did have to extend the back bumper so that I'm still legit within that 3 feet length overhang of that, so that I'm not considered oversized or over length. But this has been a long journey. We're talking just as of now, what, it was a week ago when I finally got things rolling. So it's been about 10 months or around 10 months since I got this truck when I bought it till it's actually starting to make money. I've been paying insurance on it, sitting, doing nothing this entire time. I've been making payments on it as well. That's kind of a different scenario. I've got some different type of financing that I've got going on for this truck. But basically, this is of all the ways to buy a truck and to rent out dumpsters with it, this is probably the worst way. This has been the largest headache. This has been the probably worst experience possible. I made some major mistakes, or at the very least ran into just some of the dumbest issues. I didn't fully understand what was going on with him and his businesses, the legal side of that stuff. It sounded legit to me. Maybe I'm too naive. I'm not now about it. I know that. And then with the rail system, he said like $500 to do it times 5, $2,500 to do all the fab work on this truck to get it operational there. I also took it to the mechanic. That was about $1,000. There was some sensors that needed to be replaced, some other things going on with it as well. That was taken care of as well. And then also in the meantime, while I was basically able to drop a dumpster, but the whole thing was I couldn't pick one up because the rails weren't long enough. So one would basically fall off of it, but I couldn't pick one up. So as I'm at the storage place, there was 2 times, because they're doing, as you can hear in the background, They're doing some operational work, leveling stuff out, and they're adding some overhead or covered storage out here, away from rain and the elements, I guess. And so they needed me. I was in that other lot behind me, but now I'm over here. Well, they needed my second can that was sitting down, because I was able to drop one here and still have one on the actual truck. Twice I had to have the truck actually, or the can moved. So the first time I asked the transfer station guys next door to me to help me. First of all, if you are not friends with your transfer station people, if you're not asking questions, being a help to them if there's any way you possibly can be, if you're not friendly, if you're not just I don't know what you're doing, because they have a wealth of knowledge. They have the resources to help you if you did get in a pinch. It's not a matter of well, to me, it's a friendship. If anything, if I can do anything for them, they've got it. They've been able to help me out many times, painfully many times, when I've been overloaded or other issues that should not have happened. But they were willing to come over and help lift up the front of the can so that it could be picked up and moved from one location to the other in the other lot. And then the second time that they asked me to move it, because they kept on doing more construction as they were going, a buddy, the same buddy who gave me the 10-yard dumpster on the very first day of being able to be actually used, he actually helped me with his, I believe he's got a what is it now? It's a Max D, I believe, or I can't remember what it is now. I know what it is, I just can't remember. With his roll-off trailer, he came over and with a crowbar sketchily helped me, and I think I'll show it here in a minute. He was basically able to lift up my 10-yard, just get it onto the frame, onto his roll-off trailer, and slowly drive it over here and be able to get it parked in my new parking spaces, because I've been moved twice now. So I'm assuming I'll be moved back there someday, but now I can actually move both of my cans. This has been just a very challenging, discouraging situation. There's a reason why I haven't shared this with you, because at many different points in this journey, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if this was an absolute wash. I know I'm upside down, certainly, with the insurance and the payments on it, and it hasn't made money until just recently. It's immediately started making money, and I've actually already got both of them rented out going forward into this next week for several days. But this is the type of thing that could happen to you. If you're trying to upgrade from dump trailers, it's not as smooth as it might seem. If you don't know rail systems, which I still sort of understand, I've looked at enough people, I've asked enough questions, I've searched the Facebook group, previous posts, all of those things. I've done those things, but I still didn't fully understand, and I still found myself in a situation where I couldn't even use the truck even if I wanted to. Even if it was illegal, I couldn't have, because I could drop off a dumpster, but I wouldn't be able to even be picking it up at a customer's home. That's how ridiculous this situation has been. And the extra money that's gone in to get it operational. I'm literally combining two systems, switch and go and a regular standard roll-off can together. And that's not normally what people do. And I get that. It is what it is. This is a medium length. This is not my long-term play as far as the last truck I'll own or something. But this is a short-term to medium length time frame of using this to build my business. Someday I might have a sweeter system or something, but that's not right now. This is my situation. This is what happened to me, and here's how I've gone through many different obstacles. There are times in this business where without you knowing, you get underwater. You're just like, what in the world just happened? I thought I was doing what I should have done, and it still was not enough. So this is my situation. I'm super pumped about it. Hopefully able to bring you lots of more content, sharing this whole system, the setup, showing it in action and more stuff going forward. I'm super excited about it. I'm along for the journey. I'm showing you the nitty-gritty stuff, the ugly stuff, as well as, you know, sometimes the cool stuff. But I'm gonna hop off here. I do plan on making more videos about this and talking through stuff. If you have any other questions, please reach out, let me know. This is my my channel, my journey, and if you want to follow along, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of a long one, but I appreciate you sticking with me. Thanks for everything. Have a great day, guys, and God bless.